So, in today's market where volatility can turn in a second, managing exposure, leveraging, and counterparty risk is not just smart, it's survival. Ladies and gentlemen, our panel brings together experts from both Forex and crypto to explore how brokers can strengthen control, choose the right partners, and stay competitive while keeping clients protected. Please join me in welcoming our moderator, Andrey, CEO of VS Capital, and our panel of risk masters. Floor's all yours.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for the intro. Thank you for the invitation. As always, it's a pleasure to be part of IFX. First time in Hong Kong, to be honest, so it's a really nice experience for me. Looking forward for the next visit to this part of the amazing world. First, let's give a chance for our speakers to present themselves quickly, because we have a time here, so we need to be dedicated to the time. So a few words for all of you, and then we will start discussing the risk.
I'm Peip from Takeprofit Technology. We make software, risk management software and plugins for Forex broker since 2013.
Elian Daoud. I am a Chief Product Strategy Advisor for FYNXT. We are a CRM technology company. We provide multiple tools for brokers such as PAM, copy trading, IB, PAM manager, and so others. Thank you.
My name is Egorov. Over 15 years, we've been providing brokers, prop trading firms, and liquidity providers with solutions to cut their costs with our automation tools to execute the trades faster with liquidity breach, with execution engine, and to attract new customers using bonus solutions, PAM, copy trading. So we have a few technology providers here today.
Hello, my name is Bozhidar Bozhkov. I'm representing Devexperts. We're like a trading solutions company. We're like particularly involved in creating trading platforms. So we're bridging brokers, their end clients, and we offer like direct possibility to like connect with liquidity providers or bridge providers. So we're like one stop for like brokerage companies to offer their services to their end clients.
Thank you, guys. Really a lot of technology around me. And I'm from the brokerage space, so I will challenge you a little about the technology and about how technology can help us to managing risks, different type of risks, of course. But let's start from the very beginning and to give me your opinion about the risk in general in our industry, how this risk developed, how this risk is changing in the last few years, and in general, what is your opinion about the risk which we are having as brokers in these interesting years?
I think the whole definition of risk has changed due to the increased retail participation and increased number of experienced traders who are now tightly connected in social media through forums and dedicated chats. So any vulnerability that a broker might have, from minor execution delay to minimal latency, will be broadcast to the whole trading community with a lightning speed. So before, risk was more about market-related exposures like news or known trading strategies like scalping or hedging. Now, it's a comprehensive, real-time monitoring of the whole infrastructure to detect vulnerability before any trader notices it, because everyone will know and will take advantage of it.
Okay, makes sense. What about you?
So I want to give a small answer based on what you mentioned earlier. You're from the brokerage world. And before FYNXT, I have around 15 years in the FX industry. I was the CEO of a company. And what I learned, something very important, as a broker, we are or should be a tech provider. It should be in the business in technology more than actual money. By doing so, we would be reducing risks. Now, for risk management, the more technology is advancing, especially with AI, the higher the risks are in things like Diana mentioned about latency, arbitrage, etc. So this raises a question to have a solution in place to mitigate those risks, either with the partner or internally with the broker itself.
Make a lot of sense, to be honest. And while we are discussing the technology, Ivan, can you tell us also about your opinion about this and how your technology is helping all the industry to solve these risk problems?
Yeah, I actually agree with Diana that over the past few years, in general...
Look, she's the only girl here, so we need to be agree with her in general.
Absolutely, yeah. I also have wife, and I know this wisdom. And in general, I see that over the past few years, the main thing that changed in the perception of the risk is the speed. Because today, with the rise of AI, algo trading, and technology, the risks, they unfold not in hours or even minutes, it unfolds in seconds and milliseconds. And the only way to manage this risk, to keep it under control, is to automate it and to monitor it in real time. We cannot have people who will sit there in the dealing desk 24/7 and react to the risk immediately. So the only way is to automate this part, to have technology in place, to invest in infrastructure, to minimize the latency risks, to adjust immediately, and to keep it under control all the time.
Okay, Bozhidar, what about your platform? How this platform is handling the risk opportunities, let's say, at the market?
From the risk management part, like we provide a feature inside our in our platform where we provide exposure on the client side, on the liquidity provider side, and on the broker side, like on the big strategy. So administrators of the platform have they have constant view on what's the current alignment between these three components in terms of exposure. So anything goes out of plan, they can responsibly, very fast and take measures to align the exposure. But I would also completely agree with my colleagues here, stating that time to react is really important in this sense of we should not waste time in terms of taking decisions when problems occur, but instead we should act predictively. So, and maybe if we can automate things, that would definitely reduce time to react, which is could be very expensive.
Okay, so we are, brokers, we are constantly following the market. The market risk is probably one of the most important part, but from what I can hear, and also from my experience, I think technology risk, in terms of how you handle the risk in terms of providing the technology, the right technology, as you mentioned, that we need to be a technology companies, not only financial companies. It's more important, or maybe the most important. What do you think about this?
The more the technology is advancing, the more brokers we see are relying on internal teams to build their own systems, or to have I would give an example, a couple of brokers, let's say they would have a bigger technology team rather than sales or not, because the cost of maintaining these platforms require a significant amount of teams to handle these platforms. Sometimes it just happens that it's much easier to rely on a company like ours here to get just a end solution rather than just spend years developing it. But the concept is, whether you're a broker or a technology provider, you should invest heavily on that aspect to tackle your risk.
Okay, and Diana, what about the main metrics and the main data which we need to follow to, let's say, avoid risk or to handle the risk?
I think exposure on a certain symbol, and you should avoid this exposure being one-directed. If you see it's one-directed, like lately is happening with gold, you should offset the risk and hedge.
Oh, tell me about the gold, yeah.
Hedge the positions in a separate direction to your liquidity provider. And also, the profit that the position has made with a very short period of a lifetime. Because it means it's a toxic flow, trader knows something, he uses the software, pay attention to it, and apply the measures.
About the toxic flow, do you have any tools and features, let's say, in your technology to spot the toxic flow?
Yes, we do. We have a risk panel that will send an alert to an email or to a chat to a dealing team that, okay, this is the deal that we consider toxic. It made 10% of profit within 5 seconds, for example. Or this is an account who had an initial deposit of 1,000 and it made 30% of profit within a short period of time. So yes, and obviously there are dealing plugins. This is a must for any broker.
Yeah, Ivan, can you give us your input about this and also from your perspective and from your technology perspective as well?
Yeah, we see a lot of demand recently in automated monitoring of the toxic flow, or arbitrage traders. And recently, the trading strategies, they're also getting more sophisticated. For example, we see the same for brokers and quite often for prop trading firms that they need to confront sometimes organized groups of traders who arbitrage trades on different accounts, trading in different directions, and it's getting much harder to notice it. Like manually, it's even impossible. Like it would
Manually,
take
it's impossible.
days. Yeah. So you need to have sophisticated technology in place to identify these triggers and also to act accordingly. And we have tools that can help to identify this, to automate it, and let's say you can hedge the risk automatically whenever this behavior is detected. And I think the next step would be to also make it predictive. So when the system will be able to identify some patterns before the losses will happen.
AI, I guess, will help for this stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, and we spoke about the risk, how develop this, how we are upgrading our systems and the technology to handle the risk. And we are now focusing on the market risk as well. But together with the risk which is coming from the traders, we are having this compliance reporting risk or whatever we call it, where unfortunately we need to take care to send the right reports and the right information to the relevant people, regulators and everything. Can you give me more information about this? For example, Bozhidar, your platform and your system, how is handling this, and what type of solutions you are giving to your clients?
Yeah, so one of the solutions that comes to my mind with regards to like compliance, risk, and trading departments is like basically providing the same source of data. So having eyes on the same data, like also could reduce the risks of malfunctions in terms of like processes, etc. So all eyes on the same data basically reduce time also to react. And in my opinion, like shared data is the future to go with. I mean, like as I mentioned, it reduces time in response time in critical times when problems occur. So, and also like more eyes on the same data. And particularly with Devexperts, we provide range of reports for brokers to like.
I guess internal and external. I mean, internal for use of risk department, brokerage, accounting, and also for the.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, different departments can consume those reports. I mean, like in terms of purpose of the reports, but they also can customize it in terms of our APIs, so they can build their fully custom reports as they like, with the exact pieces they would like to have information they'd like to see there. So it's fully customizable on that end as well.
Okay, and what about you?
I want to share a little bit about, this is a very
please.
good question actually. The compliance and reporting aspect is a big field. It starts with a simple dashboard of what a company needs in terms of analytics, and it ends with what you've mentioned, the transaction reporting. Transaction reporting is basically the process where a broker has to report to certain regulators their daily exposure volume in each currency. Now, this is a very critical and difficult process to do. At FYNXT, what we do offer the reporting tool system, which actually captures at end of day all your positions and then converts them according to end of day rates to the proper exposure symbol and reports it. So it is not an easy task to do, because you have to be accurate to the millisecond to match the statements sent by the trading platform to the client in order to be accurate. So yeah.
Okay, so discuss risk, discuss the reporting side of the things, discuss how we can take care for the toxic flow or something like this. Now, what about the other risk which we are facing on a daily basis when we are interacting with our liquidity providers? So this risk also is not small, let's say, and it's on a daily basis, and we need really to have a good connections in terms of technology, also in terms of human connections with the liquidity providers. So can you give me more about, more information about what you are offering in this regards, and also to tell me how important, according to your experience and according to your clients, is this connection between your system or the system of the brokerage company and the liquidity providers, Ivan?
Yeah, we see that it is super important, because, like, for example,
Confirmed, yeah.
Yeah, for liquidity providers, it's one of the main suppliers for broker, and we see that quite often brokers, they are targeting the quantity rather than quality. They do not really monitor quite often the quality of the liquidity, the fill ratios, the latency, slippages, and there are lots of ways to monitor it, to get the automated reports, to compare these indicators between different liquidity providers, and to work with the best.
Do you support this monitoring, let's say, to check, in terms of, if I'm a broker, I want to check the execution time, slippage, and everything which I'm receiving from my LP.
Yeah. Our clients get this information automatically, so they can get reports where they will compare all these indicators between their liquidity providers. Let's say for gold, to understand who are the best. So I understand that, okay, LP1 is the best for gold. I send all the metals to them, and therefore cryptos, I would prefer to work with these guys.
With us, because we are the best, but it's different story.
Yes.
Diana, what about your technology?
We do have a technology to organize the connection between a broker and a liquidity provider, but
And the reporting. My question is actually to see, the broker to see the quality of the execution, basically.
Yes, it shows the speed of execution and the average VWAP pricing, the average weighted price. Yes, we do that, have logic, of course, but when you said about the relationship, I'm not sure that the technology can mitigate the relationship in any sort, because you mentioned that what about the relationship between a liquidity provider and a broker, and I don't think technology
It's a mix of relationship,
I don't think a technology provider can mitigate it. It can only organize the infrastructure for it to be seamless and quick, which is a bridge.
Elian, how the technology is helping these relationships, basically? You have an idea?
I want to be more specific when we on the technology side. I want to tackle a little bit on the AI. I realize we haven't spoken about it a little bit. If we
It's time now.
Because I genuinely believe over the next 3 years, AI will play a bigger role when it comes to risk management. If you notice, we will not need perhaps to have a big trading team to analyze the risks and the data involved, while they would rely on the decision making on AI more. So AI will help to brokers to have a scalable solution for their risk management, rather than increase the number of staff. So that they can make a better decision making. Because even humans, when it comes to dealing, sometimes they would not be able to make the right decision when it comes to abusers or fraudulent clients, etc. That's my take on AI in the next 3-4 years. What would happen?
Okay. Now I will ask pretty much the same question, but from different perspective. Because obviously, we are in the same industry. You are doing mainly the textiles stuff here. We are doing the brokerage stuff, let's say, but we are working together. And for me, it will be really interesting to hear your point of view, how, let's say, and when it's time to rethink, let's say, or to discuss another possibilities and another liquidity providers to be put in our mix, let's say, of liquidity providers. What is your opinion, let's say, from your experience, Bozhidar?
Yeah, it's always good to diversify. It's even a must, I would say. I mean, you cannot, if you're like, I don't know, sophisticated broker, I cannot imagine that you'll rely only on one executing party. I mean, in terms of crisis, like liquidity crisis or whatever, you should have some other like backup to turn to, right? And it's also crucial to analyze, to basically scorecard, to do scoring of your liquidity providers in different situations, like normal market conditions and volatile market conditions. Like also like analyze their fill and reject rates in such abnormal and like normal market conditions, same as slippage, latency. These are all like crucial factors that are affecting the whole trading experience. And as we began the conversation with the herding mentality of our end users, like bad user experience can like amplify very quickly through social media. So it's really important to also like take all pieces into account, like from trading experience.
Yeah, thank you for this input. Ivan, after 15 years you mentioned in the industry, can you give us your opinion about this?
Yeah, in my opinion, for liquidity providers, if we like, as I understand, the question is how to identify when is the point when you need to rethink this.
To rethink,
yeah,
to change, or maybe to add, or maybe to to improve.
I think that's the time is when you feel that you don't get the quality of the execution that was promised in the beginning, because quite often brokers, they check the quality just in the beginning when they start the cooperation with liquidity providers.
And they leave it as it is.
Yes, then they leave it, and then in a few months they see, in some reasons we get less profits, less revenue, so money is going somewhere, and it turned out that, well, for the last few months we were losing money on slippages. We have huge gaps. We pay much more on commissions, on swaps. You know that there are lots of ways how liquidity providers can monetize their relationship with the broker. So I think it's very important to track not only the quality of the execution, but also how much broker pays to that liquidity providers in different ways.
You're absolutely right. Elian, you mentioned that before the technology stuff, you were working in a brokerage companies many years. How you handle this relationship, and when you were adding, or it was a process constantly checking and adding, removing, fighting with the liquidity providers?
Being in charge of the product, it helps me understand the client or the broker. And I always play the devil's advocate when I'm in these meetings to the company, to think from a broker perspective how to manage their risk or any product that is being built. When it comes to the question earlier, you've asked my colleagues here about pricing. Normally, the bridge providers handle all of this bit. When it comes to which LP provides the best pricing, etc., those are all configurations, settings that are easily set that the broker can simply set them up and handle all of this. Of course, risks will be there. Even when we mitigate them, new risks will always happen. It's just that as we more evolve and have more technology, we'll have to come up with new ways to tackle them. This is why I came back to the AI point earlier, that many of the risk mitigations we're currently doing or in the industry is after the fact an incident has happened. So while I would believe AI would offer a more proactive approach in risk mitigation, instead of waiting for an incident to happen to build a technology tool to counter it, try to do that before it actually happens and analyze it and identify a pattern before it happens.
You mentioned several times AI, so I need to change the questions and to ask about AI. What you're doing in this space, in AI space?
Nothing.
Nothing for now.
I don't even think for now, because it depends what you imply by AI. How useful can it be? For years now, I think Ivan knows, for years now, the most popular request when it comes to the bridge is, do you have a function to automatically send anything to liquidity provider and automatically keep in bbook, which is basically is replacing dealing. And while judging by the client's requests, it can be considered a next it thing, it really sounds like a bad idea, because there is nothing better than an experienced dealer who analyzes the trading behavior and makes a decision whether to offload the flow himself. So we are not doing anything when it comes to AI, because for now we think there's nothing that can replace an experienced professional in Forex.
But how is this possible to be done? I mean, this is done basically predefined and automatically, right?
What do you mean? What's that?
The offset the risk, or to put quants, bbook, a-book.
That's the expectations, but none of the bridge providers does that, obviously, because the possibility of mistakes is very, very high. That something that the broker doesn't expect to actually be offloaded will be offloaded, because it's a machine.
Makes sense. Elian, what about your technology and integration with the AI part of the world?
One thing I'll say to any technology company, if they're not utilizing AI, it should be already even being experimented to be used in different use cases. For starters, you need huge data in order to work with it. I would say AI would be useful in the data and the analytics part. This is where we are currently using it in FYNXT. It is not a live ready product, but it will be as we more test it. So
do you use it, sorry for interrupting, do you use it also for creating a product? I mean, for developing your technology? Because from my experience, we start using it massively. And honestly, what we were doing in the past with 5-6 developers, now we are doing with 2.
Yeah, so I am here to talk on the front side of things of AI. The back end, when it comes to developers, I'm sure everyone's currently utilizing AI in a way, in a form, whether to check their code, etc. But on the front side of things, I believe the most use case, which is what we're trying to do, is utilizing it in reporting and analytics. Feed it all the data of certain brokers and come up with easy ways, rather than utilizing all technology in like SQL and just simple, for reporting. Help different teams, whether it's finance, trading, etc., to reduce their risk by simply help them make a better decision making.
Ivan, tools for brokers and AI. What is the situation there?
Yeah, that's probably would be a risky move for me. This time I would argue it's with a woman, because
okay, it's your decision. You know?
Yeah, we see that.
I can put a risk disclaimer.
Yeah, probably I would regret about it later. Yeah, but we see that AI becomes like the new electricity many years ago, and we can either agree or reject it that it can change the world dramatically in the next 5-10 years. And we see that those companies who start using AI now or a few years back, they can grow much faster, they can develop more sophisticated functionality, and when traders start using AI, sometimes to detect some weaknesses of trading technology, why shouldn't brokers do the same to also identify these traders, those abusers, to use AI to make their technology more effective? And in the bridge, we start using AI at first to help brokers to use the system more effectively. And the next step would be to use AI for predictive models to react also automatically. So to not only identify the flow, but also to manage those flows. And I don't believe also, as Diana, that the AI will replace dealers in any near future, but the role of dealers will be more like the pilots in airplane to control in the first place, to control the system, to see the indicators, and to adjust those models to act more effectively.
Well said. Yeah, well said. Bozhidar, as a Bulgarian, where I know for a fact that we have a lot of IT talents there. How you are integrating, what are your plans for developing your platform and your products for the brokerage companies using AI technology?
First of all, I also like to say that I'm like a big believer, and I think that AI is like will be the next revolution basically. And we as a platform has like already started like building our own like AI assistant integrated directly into our trading platform. It's called Devexperts. We're building this since several years, so it's more oriented on the traders side of on the trader's perspective. So basically, they can do technical analysis on any given trading instrument. They can send rules. I mean, they can provide criteria to the AI assistant based on which trades can be automatically executed. They can do their own risk management by setting up stop losses, take profits, like do their own like customizable rules in terms of when order should be sent or stop loss should be created, at what level it should be created. Like the AI can like analyze lots of data in terms. So this is in terms of the trader's perspective, but we're also like focusing on analyzing the actual behavior of the end users as well and providing this data to our brokers. So all cool and fun stuff will be coming in the future as well in this regard as well. I mean, currently we're more focused on the trader's perspective in terms of AI, but we're getting into providing more data for the brokers in terms of how end users are operating with the platform, in terms of when they're trading, how they're trading, what leverage they're using, like how aggressively they're executing their trades, etc., like sending their trades.
Okay, thank you for your opinion. Because we have 5, 6, 7 minutes, I guess, and we start from the past. We discuss the current situation, and now I think will be logical to finish with our expectations in the next 3 to 5 years, let's say, in terms of risk, in terms of how this risk will be handled, what will be the technology behind this, how technology will be improved and give more edge, let's say, to the brokerage companies, speaking about AI, speaking about other solutions. So what will be the next 3 to 5 years, your technology and the risk in general, according to you, dear?
I think the biggest impact that AI will have is the precision and quality of the technology, because it does help writing code. So the human mistake will be minimalized because of a wrong letter or a wrong line in the coding. As for the technology, I would yet again expect an automated decision that an aggregator makes what to do with the flow. But as I said before, I don't think this is a very good idea. But I expect this is where the things will be moving, judging by the requests that our clients have. Just because there is a demand for it, there will be a market for it.
Thank you for your open opinion. You can continue this discussion later on. Elian, what about you? What do you think will happen in the next 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, I think we will see more brokers using internal technology, rather than relying on others. It's either this choice or you're out of the market, because it's a quick world, and and on the other side, the next 3 to 5 years, I would say AI will play a bigger role in decision making, helping whether in risk or in finance or any department, to have them be the decision makers rather than the ones on the ground doing the manual analysis. So have AI work for them, and as Ivan mentioned, have them in control on top. This is where I see things going in the next 3 to 5 years. We just scratched, the surface.
It's coming, huh? It's coming. Ivan?
Yeah, I agree. It's inevitable. And I believe those brokers who will use AI, who will more rely on technology, very soon they will need to spend less on people who just act as operators, who do the manual work. And instead of, let's say, sending reports to regulators, it will be possible to integrate it fully and automate the reporting system, to automate the most of the risk management operations, And as I said, it would be more the role of the dealers, of the head of risk, is to, like a pilot in a deck of the airplane, to control this. And at the same time, we will need less people who can do some mistakes, so we'll minimize the human factor. It will take some time, but we definitely will be there in about 5-10 years.
So we're expecting someone from the head of risk to call Mr. Risk AI. Can you please send me this report and be more careful with this flow?
Yeah, absolutely. We already start using it today in this.
They are chatting. They're not saying hello. They're chatting with
we
it
are
now.
calling even. Yeah. Bozhidar, what will be the next few years for your company, for your technology, and also for the risk in general in the industry?
Yeah, I agree with the colleagues here that everything will be automated. It will be like rule-based decision making. And as I said in the beginning, the goal here is to reduce decision lag. So by automating, you're immediately reducing response times, and also it would be very useful for analyzing potential crisis events, right? You can train models on how to basically what factors should be taken into account and what decisions should be made, automated as well in terms of crisis. So I think the next big thing for the brokers and technology companies will be to invest in data and to train models based on that data, because this is, to me, the most valuable factor through which AI can further develop, improve, and also operationally for these companies as well, like brokerages and technology providers as well.
Guys, it was absolutely pleasure having you here. Thank you for this open chat. Maybe we can continue later on. There's the bar somewhere there, so we can use this as well for a spot. Thank you once again. Enjoy the rest of the conference, and thank you everybody for being here. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrey.
Thank you, Andrey.
Thank you. Have a good day.